Hi, I'm Mark Camoccio from Mart TV, and I've got an interesting rifle to show you here. It might look a little bit familiar. A few years ago, Gamo introduced a rifle that they called the Maxxim Elite. There was a little bit of confusion with this one. I've got the original catalogue and it's showing the Gamo Maxxim Elite as a spring-powered rifle. I think the early ones were, but I'll say I had one that we obviously did a review on. Now, what's interesting is they've had a bit of a rebranding, and this is now called the Gamo Maxxim Elite Swarm IGT. And this particular model now is only available as a gas ram system. So inside, instead of a mainspring, you've got a gas ram strut inside, sort of on the old Theoban basis. And now in here you're getting, it's about, at the moment these are retailing for about $289, and it includes the scope and a one-piece mount. And obviously the big selling point with these is that it's a multi-shot system. Although it's a brake barrel gas ram, it's also got a multi-shot system, so we'll go into that in detail, because obviously that's the key selling point with this gun. But other features wise, starting at the front, you've got a nice sort of ported what looks like a muzzle brake. This is an all-in-one synthetic shroud, and then they're calling it the Whisper system. You've got sort of Whisper prefix on a lot of Gamos, and the idea is that it's sort of it's sound eating, and it sort of baffles inside. I've got to be honest, I mean, these are quite noisy. I wouldn't say that system does an awful lot, but as far as the aesthetics go, it's nice. It's a nice bit of sort of soft, something to grip. Obviously you've got a nice bit of leverage for the brake barrel system, but as far as its sound eating qualities, it's not too great. Moving further back, you've got these nice sort of rubberized inserts into the Beach Sporter stock. As I say, you get this scope and the mounts, the one-piece mount with it, and then Gamo actually incorporate this shock absorbing recoil sort of one-piece scope rail, which is all bolted to the system, and then you can see a little gap there, and it's actually a sort of shock absorber principle. How effective that is, it's difficult to say, but it's an interesting idea. Coming down, you've got their smooth action trigger, and I must say, on spring rifles, I'm quite impressed with these. You are able to get a fairly clean, quite a nice feel. It's not obviously it's not a match unit, but given the grade of air gun, it's quite an acceptable system. So I'd say you've got Beach, you've got laser cut checkering there, Beach stock, and then moving back here, you've got a cheek piece which you can adjust. Stick your Allen key into the two socket sides, just slacken those off, and then obviously your cheek piece can be lowered, raised or lowered, just to get your eye scope alignment perfect. And when you're happy, lock those up, so you sort of get them half, so you can move it slightly, get set with your position, and then tighten those properly up. But it's a great feature on a brake barrel gun. Moving to that, they do actually call this a shock absorbing butt pad, but to be honest, there's a lot of sort of jargon they use, but I wouldn't say, but it does the job. It's not bad. But anyway, it's quite a big, bold air gun. I'd say it's an adult air gun in its dimensions, although the weight isn't too bad. I believe it's about 6.5, 7 pounds, so it's not bad. But the key thing is this multi-shot system, which is impressive. So let's look at that in more detail. Gamo themselves have claimed that this is the first multi-shot system on a brake barrel gun, I believe, but it was actually themselves. I remember as a young teenager in the 70s, when it was all, you could buy air guns from catalogues, believe it or not, that it was the Gamo, it was what was called the ASI Paratrooper, but I believe that was made by Gamo, and it was then themselves that made a sort of tube magazine that enabled a brake barrel to be a multi-shot. So they've been clever designers in the past, and they seem to have forgot their history. But yeah, this is a great piece of design. It looks maybe a bit ugly. If you want a traditional streamlined looking rifle, then you probably need to steer well clear. But if you appreciate a very clever bit of airgun design, then this works a treat. I'll just show you the principle. I mean, the principle is you've got In the original one I had, when you pressed that button, the magazine flew out, so it may be advisable to expect that, but this one isn't doing that. And then inside you've got like a cassette style magazine with a rotary drum at the moment. But basically you fill that with pellets, you snap that back in, and then thereafter you're braking the action. So butt into your groin or somewhere safe so you've got control of the gun, and then you're loading it like that. And thereafter, as you cock it, put the barrel up, you fire. As fast as you can do that, you can release your shots. We'll go and do that outside, and then literally what it's doing is a very clever little mechanism, which is as the barrel reaches the end of the arc, it's cycling a pellet out of the magazine and pushing it, probing it into the barrel, which is quite ingenious really. So we'll press that, release the magazine, and then what you do, you've got a sign at the top which tells you how many shots you got left. And then what I'm going to do is just twist it until you're seeing all the apertures. Drop those in. This is a 10-shot mag, incidentally. You just twist it. There's spring pressure inside, so you're just pushing it against spring pressure. A little bit fiddly if you're not familiar. If you've spent your life playing with air guns, it's fairly simple. Just a moment. Carry it on. So these are all going in head first. Almost done. That's it. Now that is full, and when you look at the top, it's showing you've got 10 shots. So it's all nice and easy. And with that facing you, snap the mag in, and you're ready to go. So we're here we're now outside on a really rather nice day. We've got a filled magazine. We'll snap that in, and we're ready. I will just quickly say before I forget, I mean, I had when I had one of the original Maxxim Elite, the springers, through a few years back. I think my accuracy was something like an inch and a bit, or inch and a quarter or something at 30. This over 25 yards, I've had sub half inch this time round. So, and it's with the IGT system. It's quite a harsh action, but it's proved to be a pretty accurate little rifle. And obviously that's with deliberate shooting, but as I say, it's all about this multi-shot. So now I'll show you this in action and how quick you can be. So as you can see, it's pretty fast. It's absolutely ingenious, and yeah, they've really done a good job with that. Great bit of fun and some quite impressive performance. That's the Gamo Maxxim Elite Swarm IGT.